Hello, I'm live. Hey, how are you? So I'm gonna wait for a couple of people to sign on, but I was just feeling inspired. And today's topic is inspired. I know it's Saturday, and maybe there's not a whole lot of people on social media right now because it's such a beautiful day, but I just wanted to, my heart was feeling guided and pulled to come on live today. And I guess my heart was feeling called and pulled because I wanted to talk about following the heart and being pulled by the heart and doing things from your heart versus your head and what that looks like and how that shows up in our life. So I got on here, even though I said, you know what, there's probably not going to be a lot of people on here. It's Saturday, people are probably out. I'm outside right now enjoying the fresh air. I'm under a beautiful cherry tree. And I thought about it and I said, well, Sarah, do you really want to go live? Because nobody's really going to be on, and no one will see this, and no one's going to be watching, and no one's going to be giving feedback. And so, do you really want to get on? And I said, you know what, heart, head, voice, you know what? Yes, I do. And the reason why I wanted to get on, and if you're just joining me, hi, I wanted to get on here, even though I knew there wouldn't be a lot of people watching, and I might not get a lot of feedback, because I wanted to prove to myself that expectations and fear of rejection does not matter. Expectations and fear of rejection doesn't matter. So if you're watching this and this resonates, then it's good. It's perfect timing. It's awesome because a lot of times we get held back and caught up from doing what we really want to do because why? Because our freaking brain is in the way. And it's not just the brain, right? It's our fears, it's our vulnerabilities, but they're unconscious fears because if they were conscious, it wouldn't get in the way, right? If they were conscious. So really, it's our fear of being rejected. And I've really come to realize this, that a lot of times I don't do certain things or post certain things or say certain things because I'm afraid. I'm afraid of being rejected. And a lot of you come and you see me go live, and I've had such beautiful connections and feedback with so many people as I've started this journey of coaching and being a sort of online presence and really putting myself forward. When we put ourselves forward, we need to put ourselves forward from a place of sharing and connecting and not from a place of expectation. There's so many people who have come forward to me and have said, I'm a light worker and I have a message. Maybe you're watching and you have a message too, right? And you feel like, I want to do this thing, or even if it's not a message, like there's something I've been wanting to do and I'm just in my way about it and I'm not doing it. Well, why is that? There's a fear there, there's a block there, but really that's okay because you can uncover that. So, I say to a lot of people who say, like, I have a fear of being seen, right, and judged. Like, if I get on here, a lot of people get anxiety, right? So, as I've been putting myself out there, it's not so much being seen or being judged. It's the fear of what if no one's watching? What if nobody cares? Like if I create a program, right? Are there any spiritual coaches or any kind of coaches watching? Um, if you want to say hi, I'd love to hear from you. But like, what if I create this thing, right? Are any artists watching, creative people? Right? Like when we're creative, when we're making something, there's the inner part, right? The inner world. Like when I'm channeling or when I'm writing or when I'm creating art, it can be like a really personal experience, right? Are there any artists here? Say hi, artists, creative people, even if you're not like that type of an artist. Anyone who creates something, when we create it, it's very personal, right? It's our own world, and it's not about anyone else, right? But then there's a whole nother part of that, create the creative process, the creation process. And especially for creative people who put themselves out there, there's a whole nother process, right? And that's taking your art and making money from it or being seen with it, right? And so there's a whole lot of other fears that pop up. Oh, I knew you were watching, Michael Zinn. You're reaching so many people. I've had people reach out from the program you're doing as well. Just know, yes, it's so important. And this has been a learning process for me, but it's releasing that expectation, exactly right, because when you create something, it's not about really who sees it. It's about knowing that you're leading from a place of love and intention, and that you have that in your heart, and trusting. So then releasing, and this is what manifestation is about too. The best manifestations happen when we let go, when we surrender, and we let go of control, right? So, what is our job? And I've talked about this so many times, and this is so much for me, but it's for everyone too. What is our job? Our job, that's why I called this Facebook Live Listening to the Heart. Okay, God, source, whatever you want to call it, gave us a roadmap. Okay, gave us a roadmap, literally gave us the keys to the car, gave us the directions, and we're sitting here and we're going, where are the freaking keys? The car won't start. I don't know where I'm going. I can't see. The window is foggy. What if I get lost? And all of the other role, we make our lives so freaking complicated. But the simple truth of it is, and this is really what will get you through, and what's gotten me through, is that we have all the answers we need. And so these cliche things that we hear over and over, and we're like, yeah, 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 they're actually the truth. I mean, the simplest things are the truth. So we have all the answers. And how do we know what's right for us? How do we know when to leap? How do we know when to take a risk? How do we know when to do this project or not do this project, or quit this job or go for this or do this? By our feelings. Okay, now that gets complicated because fear comes up. And so we confuse our intuition for our fears. If you can get to the really root of how you're feeling and really get in touch with what feels good for you and what you want to do, beyond expectations, beyond limitations of what you think you should do or you have to do, then you'll always be on the mark. You'll always be on the mark, and you'll always be in the right place at the right time, and the universe will always bring you what you need. So I was sitting in my room today and I have a list of like all these things I need to accomplish, new programs I'm creating, new workshops I'm creating, other projects that I'm working on. And I sat there and I was like, you know what? I know I have to do these things, but all I really want to do is get on Facebook Live and talk, even though I know that not many people are going to be watching today. But I said, you know what? I don't care. I don't care because I want to do it and it feels good, because I feel this burning desire to speak, to share. And when you have a burning desire, it can get crushed. People can crush it if you make yourself too vulnerable. If you care too much what other people think, no, you should do that, no, you should do that, you'll lose your mark, you'll lose your aim, because then you'll be bending your will to energy sources outside of yourself. Meanwhile, you are the best judge of what is right for you. Your heart knows. And another point that I wanted to make, and why I wanted to come on Facebook Live, was that, listen, and this is just as much for me as it is for anybody else watching. Dreamers, those of you who are dreamers, okay, I've always been a dreamer. I've always had a big dream of what I want to do, okay? If you have a dream, there's a reason why you have that dream. It's not, simply, if you believe in the imagination, I believe the imagination is the gateway to manifestation. The imagination is the gateway to the spiritual realm. So if you have a dream, it's not just your silly imagination or just a dream. There's a reason. There's a reason why you have that feeling, that idea, that dream, okay? And do you know what that reason is? That God, that source implanting that seed within your heart. So God, source, whatever you want to call it, the energy of all that is, okay? The energy that connects all living things, the oneness, right? Gave you that desire. Okay, that source gave you that desire, because that desire is then how you'll go forth in the world and you'll manifest your purpose. So it's very, 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 very important to pay attention to desire, because desire and passion and, inspiration, that's what leads you to your purpose. And so often we are so conditioned to ignore that. The one thing that's here to liberate us, that's here to show us who we are and keep us on our path, and we ignore it. And we just, no, it's not practical, it's not realistic, I don't know how to get started. I really want to be an entrepreneur, and but my 9 to 5 is comfy. And, I posted this the other day that when you take risks, taking risks get easier, much easier when you have a sense of self-belief that's indestructible and unstoppable. When you believe in yourself so much, um, the change you seek is inevitable. But when we don't listen to our heart, we're not honoring that which we came here to do, that which we came here to create. So you wouldn't have those dreams, those ideas for nothing. Don't take them for granted. Don't take your dreams for granted. If there is an idea to teach a class, well, then there's an audience for it. If there's idea to do whatever you want to do, I don't know what you guys do. I mean, I know Michael Zinn's creative. Can you manage to broadcast from your phone? Um, no, I can't. um, the whole point is just coming on here to speak my truth, And so when I release expectations, when I do that from a place of just being inspired, the outcome is not as important. And so it frees me up, it releases me to just do and create. And I want to share a quick story. I had gone to see Wayne Dyer. If you know him, he's a transformational, like self-help guru. He passed away a couple years ago, but I went to see him from Miami. And when I saw him speak, there were so many people that were so, like into him and obsessed, and they wanted to be close to him and take photographs with him and sign. And there were like a lot of fanboy and girls. And I had kind of known about Wayne Dyer, but not so much as the other people. And I was there more to enter some of my writings into a writing workshop, into a contest. But Wayne Dyer was there to speak. And so many people wanted to be near him and sit next to him and be in the front with him, and be close to him. And I really, you know what, like I was just happy to be there. I didn't really care. I was so grateful to be there because I had saved up money to fly to Florida and to be part of this event. And I had just written a bunch of children's books. And I was just so excited to be there. I really didn't care about the outcome. I just, of course I would have loved to win the contest, but I just wanted to be there. The outcome didn't matter. Being close to Wayne Dyer didn't matter. I was like, wow, this is so cool that I actually did this and I'm doing this, right? So I remember while I was at the workshop, there was a lady that I was sitting next to. And she I don't know, I always seem wherever I go to always befriend these really kind of rebellious people who I guess maybe that's the rebellious part of me. And she said, you know what, I'm gonna get us up in front. And she somehow, I don't know, she got us up to the front row. I don't even know how that happened. And I was like, wow, that's all right. Whatever. She left me with her, and I'm gonna get us up in front. I was like, I don't care, whatever, that's cool. And I kind of went along with it with her. And I remember we had break for lunch, and I was sitting next to this guy, and we were talking, and he said, oh, well, where are you sitting? And I said, oh, I'm right up in front. And he said, oh my God, how'd you get up in front? You're right next to Wayne. That's so cool. How'd you manage that? How'd you swing that? And I was like, some lady just brought me up there. I don't care where I sit. I'm just grateful to be here. And he said, that's why you're in the front. Or when he said that, it was when someone says something and it's so inconsequential, but yet it sparks this place in you. You're like, oh my God, because I I didn't really care about where I sat. I ended up right in the front because whereas he maybe is like, I want to be in the front, and you're wanting something so much that you block it. Right. So that's just a story, um, to show you really when you don't care. Um, Yeah, thanks, Michaels. And another great part of that event was as Wayne was speaking when we were in the front, he had this quality about him that was he could talk to a crowd of 500 people, but really make you feel like it was just you and him, like an intimate. And I remember sitting there watching him and being like, I really love that about him. And I hope to one day be able to speak in front of a lot of people in that way and just be nurturing and loving and make them feel accepted and loved, and I'm just talking to them, even if it's a crowd of 100, 500, whatever people. I would love that. That would be such a fulfilling, wonderful thing to connect to people in that way. And I'm sitting there thinking that, and he's talking, and there's a woman sitting next to me, and it's so funny because as I'm thinking I would love that, she says, well, we can't do what he does. It's really funny because I'm thinking I want to do what he does. And it's almost like the universe set that up for me to kind of mute. Yes, I know I do. I know I do, Michael's in. Yes. I feel like the universe almost set that up for me to kind of like speak my truth out loud for me to hear it. There's nothing to do with her. As in, oftentimes I speak, I feel like it is for me in that way. So she said, well, we can't do what he does. There's no way we'll be able to do what he does. And I remember saying, well, maybe you won't, but I do, and I will. And I remember when I said that, thank you, Michaels. And I remember when I said that, I was like, well, that's it. Like it was like almost like I was saying it to myself. That's it. That's what I want to do, and that's who I am. And I guess the whole point of this live is to be inspirational and to say that, oftentimes we fall subject to disbelief and people kind of like, putting their own fears on us, their own fears, their own stories, right? The story could have been better. Yeah, it was a great trip. I learned a lot from it, you know? And we have things that get in the way of what we want to do, fear of rejection, fear of, failure, right? Fear of success. What are all these fears that get in the way? Um, Fear of success, fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of being seen, all of these things when really they complicate. These fears just complicate, in essence, the true desire of what we want to do. And every time I do something, when I used to create workshops and events and programs, and not a lot of people would respond, let's say, I would get upset because I would be like, oh my God, like I want to help people and nobody wants to do this. What am I doing wrong, right? And I used to get really upset. And then one day I was like, you know what? It's not about that. It's not about what I'm doing wrong. It's just do what I do what I love to do, and the right people will work with me, and the right people will resonate, and that's it. And so I don't have to worry about pleasing people, or I don't have to feel rejected if somebody doesn't want to work with me, because most of the time it's not about us. It's not about us. It's not personal. Okay? It's about them. It's not about me. And so I don't need to take it personally. So if you're in the helping profession or a creative person and people are not buying your stuff or whatever, we take risks as we put ourselves out there, and then maybe we feel hurt when we don't get the result that we want. So when we let go of that expectation, we don't have to worry about it. Our heart forward. And then I know that my most successful things always happen when I am in alignment with that energy, when I'm in alignment with the energy of serving and the energy of creating versus the energy of, gaining something, right? Or pleasing someone, right? So I just wanted to kind of get on here and share those words and share those feelings. I'm so excited. I'm channeling tomorrow, Sunday. I haven't channeled in a very long time. I used to run regular channeling groups. I will be channeling a collective of light. It's a group of different ascended beings and angels and just oneness. Different ascended masters come in sometimes, different galactic beings. I'm going to be channeling on the topic of oneness. And then I'm going to be working with the goddess Nematona. She's a Celtic goddess of sacred space, the outdoors, and connecting to ceremonial spaces and how to create a sacred space within. So every month I'm going to be connecting to a different goddess. This one's going to be Namatuna. We're going to do meditation and inner work to, get some answers, things that might be holding you back. And then, as always, I love to bring in a light language attunement to raise your vibration and to connect to the energy of oneness. And that's all going to be tomorrow at 12. If you're interested in that, let me know. DM me and I'll send you the Eventbrite link. And then I also have just so many good ideas for workshops, and I always appreciate your feedback. A couple of ideas that I have are, like a daily practice that'll help people who are dreamers to really like rein in and create structure for like how to manifest. Another idea I have is, the fears that pop up, and a technique that I have of how to get over, like your really uncover your fears, like those 3 fears that are really holding you back, and how to move forward in that. And another idea I have is manifestation hacks. I have some great manifestation tools to really change your energy, change your mindset, and start attracting what you want. So if you're watching this, um, I know we have a couple of people watching. If you're watching this, let me know if any of those appeal to you. It's going to be like an hour or two workshop. They're going to be really low price points for like 27 bucks. Um, let me know which one hits home. Is it fears? Is it creating a structure of mindset habits, healthy habits, forming healthy habits? Is it manifestation tools? Please, please, please share feedback with me. Let me know what's exciting for you, what appeals to you the most, because I want to create these and I want to get these out, and I'm posting more of that. Or if you have other ideas of things that you want me to teach that you feel would really help you, what is your biggest fear? What gets in your way? Then let me know that as well. And and I would really appreciate that. So just taking a nice deep breath, enjoy the outdoors, enjoy the rest of your weekend. It was really nice to connect to you. But the next time you have an idea, I just want to say be inspired by that idea, okay? And notice, pay attention. There's people who say that when you're creating something like a book or a new project, don't tell too many people about it because sometimes that can interfere and get in the way and kind of like, block your manifestation. So keep it close to home because notice what pops up for you um, when you're starting to put yourself out there. So sending you much love. If any of those workshop ideas appeal to you, please comment in the comments and just say fear or manifestation or what are the other ones I mentioned? Structure, fear, manifestation, structure. Please leave me a comment. Let me know. I always appreciate everyone who connects with me. Thank you, Michael Zinn, for connecting and giving me feedback. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Mwah. I'll see you next week. I'll see you soon. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye, everyone. Bye.